lovely people. It is the start of another knitting week. It's actually Tuesday today, but it's never too late to get started with our weekly knitting vlog. So, hello, I'll introduce myself. My name is Abby. Welcome to abbiknits. Yesterday I put in my knitting for olive order, which I mentioned last week I wanted to do knitting for olive order. So I think I want to talk you through my plans with that yarn. Probably later in the week, probably tomorrow, just because I want to sit down and talk about what I'm actually planning on making, because I had a thought over the weekend, and that was that this year I really want to focus on intentionally knitting. I want to make knits that actually fit into my wardrobe and that I am needing, rather than just knitting things because I think they look cool. Not that there's anything wrong with doing that. I've got the Dagmar jacket on my list, but I'm just not sure it's a functional piece that I will use, whereas I'm really needing sweaters. I need jumpers. I really want an oversized, I'm just cold and I need things to wear. So yeah, that kind of influenced my knitting for olive order and sort of now what I plan to make for the rest of the year. I also want to sort of repeat patterns that I actually like the fit. So I know I mentioned I have this Cezanne cardigan that I wear a lot, and I like the green one that I made, which is the Daydreamers cardigan. But I want to make another one that actually fits the way that I want it to fit, because I know it's a piece that I'll wear all the time. So that is my intention. I think I'll make another Daydreamers cardigan, which was on my list, but it wasn't high up on the list. But I think I might push it higher, just because I want pieces that I will actually wear and use. So I'm being cautious about the yarn that I'm buying, things like that. So yeah, update on my Monday sweater. I'll pop in a picture, but over the weekend I got half of my sleeve decreases done. So I stopped on the body because I've got to the end of the ball of yarn, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to work on the sleeves because I only have 6 balls of yarn left. So far I have about a third, maybe half, just under half of a ball of yarn for my sleeve. So I'm halfway through the decreases. So hopefully that's enough for one sleeve, or at least only half another ball. That would be really awesome. And then I would have plenty to get the length that I want, because I want to make sure that everything I knit fits me like I want it to. And then my other knitting plan is I've decided to replace the buttons on my original Daydreamers cardigan, which I'll pop a picture up of the buttons that are on it right now. I just don't like them. They're not quite what I wanted, and I can't find the original buttons that I bought, which I really wanted, and there were only 4 of them. So I re-went to the button store and I bought some new buttons, and hopefully they'll be slightly lighter, just to not drag the fabric down. I just want to get more wear out of my knitted pieces. So hopefully it won't drag the fabric down and it'll make me more inclined to wear the piece, although it is very itchy. So yeah, that is my little overview of the week. We're going to change some buttons. We're going to knit some Monday sweater. I'm going to talk about my future knitting plans a little bit. And yeah, I am probably going to check in with you more this week. My plan is to be more chatty. I think these vlogs should be a little bit more chatty. Where random side note, I had a thought, actually, now that we're talking about intentionally knitting, where I think I want to go through my wardrobe and put some pieces on Vinted that I don't wear. Just because I think if I know what I have, I know what I want to knit. I want to knit some jumpers, but I have jumpers. I just don't wear them. So if I don't wear those jumpers, I need to get rid of them, so I know what space is available in my wardrobe. So that's a plan for this week, is to put some clothes on Vinted. I'm also there are weird things I want to knit. I want to knit jackets, and I want to knit coats, and I want to knit skirts, and I just don't know if there's a place in my wardrobe for those pieces. So I need to go through my wardrobe and figure out what space I have. So we're going to add that to the list, make a little checklist. But yeah, I think that's all I have to say now. Yeah, please tell me what you're knitting. I would really like to know. And tell me what you're knitting this week. If you have any intentional knitting plans for the week or the year, I'd be so happy to know if you leave a comment. And yeah, all right, off we go to do some knitting and stuff. Wednesday. Good morning. I think I put too much milk in my tea. And I just want to check in with you this morning and let you know I got done last night. So I did put some clips in, but if you saw, I managed to get my entire sleeve done in 2 days, which is very impressive for myself, I must say. So I thought I would show you how it's looking. I have also decided instead of doing the other sleeve, I'm going to just go on the body because I think I enjoy the quickness of the sleeve, and I think that would be really satisfying if it's the last thing I have to do. So this is my sleeve. This is the first time I have ever counted my decreases with stitch markers, and I don't know why I've never done it before because I'm absolutely convinced it's the only way. Like normally I end up having to count like row by row, but I didn't have to do that because I just counted 11 stitch markers. I'm not sure if I was supposed to immediately do the cuff after the last repeat, but it wasn't very clear, so I just did the cuff for the last repeat. I did notice in her sample she had it sort of scrunched up and it was still a very long sleeve, so I'm hopeful that I did about an inch less on the rib, and then hopefully if I was supposed to put stuff after the last decrease, it just won't be extremely long. It should just be the perfect length. As long as I make the other sleeve the exact same length, we'll have absolutely no problems. I was worried that my ribbing looked a little bit open, but I did relook at her sample as well, and her ribbing's quite open, so I think that is okay. But yeah, look how gorgeous. I'm still a little worried that the color is a bit warm, but it is still a gorgeous, gorgeous pink. Apologies, my dears. Just had a package, parcel from the postman. Anyway, yes, so the reason that I did the sleeve is because I wanted to see how much yarn it would take me to complete a sleeve, and I was right. It took me about a ball and a third, so a full one, and then basically one ball got me like halfway through the 10th decrease, right before the 11th. So then this is probably like a third of a ball. So I've set that aside, a ball and the rest of the spare one, and then I'm going to use the last 3 to finish up the body. So I did have a panic that I had miscounted the number of balls of yarn I had, and I thought I only would have 2 left over after saving 1 aside for the sleeve, but I don't. I have 3 left over, so that should be plenty for the body. So I've decided to start on the body to sort of get the painful part out of the way, and then the satisfaction of the sleeve can be the last thing I do. But overall, I'm so pleased with this jumper. It's feeling really light, but also kind of heavy, if that makes sense. But yeah, it's 100% cashmere. I was worried it would be a bit translucent, but I put my hand through and I don't think you can really see my skin, so I'm really quite pleased with the way the definition of the stitches and the density, I should say, of the stitches is working out for me. So yeah, my plan today is just keep chipping away at the body. I like to try to get 1 or 2, maybe try to start on a second ball for the body, see how long that gets me, and then I would like to do quite a chunky rib, probably about 3 inches, which is about what this is. But I might do slightly less. Might do about 2.5 inches. Unsure. I will check what the pattern says. I do think I can't tell if my Italian bind off was too loose because it's sort of wonky waved at the top here. I did do the 2 like knit one, what are they called, like setup rows with the double knit, but which I think I like, but I also just I can't really tell if that's my fault or if that's just if I was supposed to make a looser cuff, like if it will just stretch out to be wide. I don't know. When I block it, it will be fine. I kind of want to try it on because I just feel like this is a really quick cuff from the decrease, but that must be correct. Please let me know if that is incorrect, if I was supposed to do a couple rows first. But I literally just did 1 row in the smaller needle, so yeah. I mean, it's going to be the length that I want, so I'm not too worried about it, but just an interesting thing that I was thinking about. So yeah, that's my plan. I'm gonna go work on the body of my Monday sweater. I think I will check in with you later in the evening because I've set up, I don't know if I'll put the clip in, but I've set up some lights in my lounge, and I thought that could be fun to have a little knitting for Olive chat later in the day with the lights on. And then I think tomorrow will be I might actually, there's so many things we could do. I think I'm gonna go sit and knit on the body, and then maybe later or tomorrow. Oh, see, like, is this? I feel like this is just like the natural flush of my cheeks. It's almost like a nude for me. Anyway, I think I still have some buttons to sew on, so I could maybe take a break later and tuck you through my buttons. But yeah, I'm really excited. So I'm gonna go work on my Monday sweater, and I will just see you when I see ya. Hopefully, you do get a check-in today, but it'll probably be later in the afternoon. Hello, my friends. I've got the lights on. Vibes are set, and I thought I'd chat for evening segment this evening about my knitting for Olive Order and another little yarn order that I made this afternoon. But it's all for things that I've planned, so it's not bad because it's planned. There's plans. So I'll pop it up next to me. I better scooch so I can keep it up the whole time. The first thing on the list is knitting for Olive, Mohair, and Dusty Banana. Now, I have used their mohair once for my Sophia hood, and it does not make me itch. So I'm confident that that is the right mohair for the project, because in my Daydreamer cardigan, which I did in Drops Alpaca, I used the Drops Kid Silk, and it's very, very itchy, like uncomfortably itchy, where I can barely wear it with like a long sleeve top underneath. So I think if I change the mohair, I'll get more wear out of it. I also think that my gauge is too small. I think I picked yarns that didn't actually make I think it's an Aran weight or a worsted weight that's required, and I don't think I actually have the proper gauge, even though I'd go up a needle size to try and like make it as poofy as possible. So that didn't work. So what I've done is this afternoon, because it came back in stock, I've bought Drops Air in their pale yellow. So held with the Dusty Banana, I'm hoping it's not too bright of a yellow, but that it's like a nice, softer yellow, if that makes sense. So that is the plan with the mohair. I think I bought enough to make a size large, but I think if I hit gauge, I might be okay with a medium. But I am going to use my Cezanne cardigan that I already have as my template for measuring. Yes, that is my plan with the Dusty Banana silk mohair, is to make a Daydreamers cardigan with some Drops Air that I have also bought this afternoon. So very exciting. So not a terribly expensive project, so I'm not unhappy with the purchase, and I think it will make it something that I will use for a long time, and I'm going to be very sure to make sure that I get it the fit that I want so that I do wear it, rather than it sort of sit in a box. I have worn the green one, the Drops one, but I just want one that I throw on all the time like I do with my red one. It'd be really nice to have a spring/summer color. That way I can have, a bit of a mix it up a little bit. So I'm excited about that. So that, I don't think that will be, it might be the next project on my needles. Unsure. We'll just see what happens when I get the yarn in. And then under it, you'll see it's the same color. So we've got Dusty Banana, but in the merino. I've only bought 3 balls of yarn for that one because I plan to make I don't remember what it's called. I plan to make the mixed rib cami by Florence Miller. I want that for the summer. And Dusty Banana is one of my summer colors. Hence why I'm also kind of making a Dusty Banana color in a cardigan for the summer. So something I've actually done, which I'm happy to talk about in more detail if people are interested, is I've made a little note on my phone and I've like pinned it to the top of my phone screen. And what I've put in is I've just put like my favorite colors to wear in certain times of year, and I put my favorite yarn fibers, and if there's any like patterns that I really enjoy making or that I make a lot of, I just put it in a little notes app as like a reference for if I feel like I impulsively want to buy some yarn or a pattern, I can be like, does it actually fit with what I already have down? So I think that's a great idea. If you're stuck for like, if colors are something that you have struggled with, or you can never like decide what color you want to make something, make a list of clothes that you already have and what colors you already wear in certain seasons. So like for example, I keep wanting to make a navy blue jumper, but I've realized like I don't wear navy blue in the winter at all. For me, navy blue is a summer and spring color. So there's no point for me to make a navy blue jumper because I would want it in the winter, which isn't a season that I tend to reach for navy blue. So things like that, just to remind myself, hey, these are the colors I like. And I found that to be very helpful. Hence I feel confident in my yarn decision when I've just spent a lot of money because I know that there'll be colors that I'm going to wear in the season that I'm making the garment for. So it's not that complicated, but that was a lot of words to describe it. But you get what I'm saying. That's my plan for the Knitting for Olive merino and soft silk mohair and dusty banana, is to make a daydreamers cardigan and a mixed rib cami, which I'm so excited about. That might be next on my needles because I know it's quite a finicky project because it's so many rib and such a small needle size. So that might be my next cast on. That way I can like knit a season ahead, if that makes sense. And then the bulk of my order and the most expensive part of my order is I've ordered soft silk mohair in dusty violet and I've ordered the heavy merino in plum. This one I'm a little nervous because if you saw yesterday, I was wearing my step by step sweater, which is in like a plummy color, and I love the color, but I just have this vision of like, I'll tell you what I'm doing with it. I'm planning to make one of the lakes jumpers, the lake sweater pullovers by Ozetta, and I keep going between the V-neck and the Great Lakes, which is like a high neck. But I went back to the high neck, so I bought enough yarn if I want to make the Great Lakes pullover rather than the Lakes V-neck, I think. But I can also make the Lakes V-neck if I change my mind. But I'm pretty sure I'm gonna make the Great Lakes pullover because I just have this vision of like the person I'm gonna be has this like purple high neck, oversized, like super cozy throw it on. I'm thinking like Anne Hathaway in that one movie where she's like bipolar and she's wearing this like gray jumper. It's a really sad and really beautiful scene, but just like this jumper stands out to me with the like high neck, or even in I can't even think of another movie. I just have that in my head of like I want this oversized high neck throw on cozy jumper. So that's my plan with the heavy merino. I am worried about is not the mohair. I'm excited about the mohair, but I'm worried that the plum is gonna be too purple and that it might marl the fabric more than I'm wanting. So I was looking at pictures on Ravelry of Dusty Violet projects, just like in general with the Dusty Violet merino, and it's just too gray. And I really like I want it to look purple. Like I don't want it to look gray. Like I want you to be able to tell it's purple. So I'm really hoping that the plum pulls through for me. I will knit a swatch. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it if I hate it. I don't think I'll hate it. I think I will make it anyway, and it will just be interesting if I grow to like it or if it just is something that sits in my wardrobe. But I'm hopeful that the merino will just like deep, not quite deepen the color, but just like make it where you can't quite tell it's purple. Like you can tell it's purple, but it's not like purple in your face, if that makes sense. So that is my hope, and that is my Knitting for Olive order. And then I already mentioned that I also ordered drops here. So yeah, I've got basically 3 projects that I'm looking forward to making. These should keep me busy pretty much through the entire spring. I think I might, in like March time, do one more order to knit a cloud tee. I think that's next on my list. Cloud tee is like my only other summery spring knit that I want to make. So I think that might be my only this might be my yarn order for the next season and a half. So that's quite exciting. I'm not confident in my speed for the Great Lakes pullover. So that either will be a very long process or I might just save it until the fall. So note that Knitting for Olive is not the fastest with delivery, so I am hopeful that it doesn't take forever to come in. I don't normally change my mind when it comes to projects when I buy yarn for them, so hopefully this all sticks to plan, and that's what you'll be seeing in the knitting vlogs, but for now, we're working on the Monday sweater. I will chat with you tomorrow. And yeah, so see you then. Hello, it is Thursday morning, afternoon, actually, and I thought I would just check in for the day. So I've sewed on one button onto my Daydreamers cardigan, which you just saw, and I think I like it. I don't know if I like it. I feel like it's too green and it feels a little childish, if that makes sense, but my button store doesn't have a lot of buttons in this color, so I think I'm just gonna stick with it. It's definitely making the collar not droop down as much as the other buttons, so I'm quite pleased with that. And then there was only one more thing I wanted to show you. That is, I did an impulsive cast on last night for some mittens, just because I was bored of knitting my Monday sweater. So I cast on for some mittens. These are, I don't know what they're called, but they're the mittens by Woozy by Celine, and she has like a matching, I think it's like the Sadie mittens or something. Anyway, she's got like a hood with the same sort of star pattern. I had some bad laddering when I first started, so I've been trying to fix that, but I might have to go back and properly fix it. But yeah, I'm just making increases for the thumb and knitting away on this really gorgeous star pattern. It actually looks really good, so I'm really quite happy with that. But yeah, I don't know if I have enough yarn. I'm just using some random, I have a 50-gram ball of Sorella's DK that I bought a while back in the shade Water Lily from their Summer in London collection, so I wanted to make some mittens. They might be too small. I'm making the size small, but I sized up a needle size, so I'm using 4.5 instead of 4, so I was like, oh, that should be fine, but it might be okay. It might be okay. It fits over there, and then I'm making thumb increases, so it could be okay. But yeah, so that is all the updates I have for you this morning. I think that's all I have updated for you. I might keep working on the mittens. I might keep working on my Monday sweater. All the plans are out the window. But yeah, we're having a good knitting week. I'm gonna go have a cup of tea. And yeah, I think that's it for me. I'm still TBD about these buttons, but hopefully once they're all on, I'll like it a little bit more. I did actually not buy enough buttons. I only bought 5, and I didn't realize there's actually 6 buttonholes on my cardigan. So I'll just not do the bottom button, but overall, I'm quite pleased. I like it better than the other ones, but I'm not sure it's the right button either. So I might just have to knit another cardigan in this color and find some better matching buttons, but yeah, I think that's all I had to say. So I will check in with you later, or maybe tomorrow. Hello, my friends. It's Friday evening, and I thought I would just check in for the last time. I had a very busy outing today, so I wasn't actually home to do a lot of knitting, but I will show you that while I was out, I got some knitting on my mittens done. I get why people knit small circumference things, because they're so good they're such good travel projects. So yeah, I've gotten to the point where now I start my decreases for the top of the mitten, which is very exciting. But yeah, these have worked up so fast. I'll go ahead and try them on for you. Yeah, so they're like literally almost done. Just get their rounded off, and then yeah, I think that will be the end of the mittens. So overall, I'm really quite pleased with them. And I've also had such a productive week. Thank you for enjoying. I apologize about the lighting, but it is nighttime now. I'm in the 4 o'clock last bits of light shining through my window. But I hope you all had a lovely week. Please let me know what you've been working on, or if you've cast something on. I would love to know and chat with you in the comments. But yeah, thank you so much. I will see you next week for some exciting things. Should be a yarn delivery next week, so that'll be fun. And yeah, so I will see you later. And I'm gonna go cozy up on the couch and do some more knitting on my Monday sweater, I think. Or might start decreases. Ooh, too many decisions.